Welcome to the build series. Unfortunately, my microphone did not pick up any of this, so the topic of today is suspension, wheels and tires, and then my brakes. Let's go ahead, jump on in. Alright, I figured this would be probably a more interesting view than the Sony camera because I'm going to take off my wheel, jack up the car so we can get a better look at the suspension, and also looking at the brakes. And then while I do this, I'll just go ahead and talk to you guys and tell you about my suspension setup. I will kind of break it up. I'll do suspension like main components first, and then bushings, what bushings I have. And then we'll go ahead and look at tires and wheels, and then go ahead and look at the brake setup. But a lot of you guys do ask me about my suspension setup. And honestly, it's not the greatest, but it is, I would say, my coilover suspension at least, is a very entry-level setup. So I'm rocking the ISC N1 coilover 6K, 4K rate, and then I have the ISC lower control arms, and I got them in a bundle deal. So I got the control arms. Sorry, the GoPro's a little loose on my head. I got the control arms, and I got the coilovers for 880 bucks shipped to the door. So, I mean, you can't beat that price. And I've had these coilovers for 4 years now, maybe. So quite a long time. And they're definitely long overdue. They're probably in need of a rebuild. So whenever I decide to pull the trigger and I realized I forgot to undo my wheels, so that might be a problem. But whenever I do decide to part ways with my coilovers and get new ones, I might just give these ones away for like 50 bucks and just let whoever wants to buy them know they will need a rebuild. But for the most part, they are a very good entry-level coilover. Gives you the drop you want, dampening, toe control, all that caster. It comes with camber plates and all that, as you guys will be able to see. There it is right there. I like the gold. Spiderweb. The gold is actually a very nice color. I didn't think at first I would like it, but I do actually enjoy the colors. And the lower control arms in the back, you guys are able to see, actually give it, I'll get a shot with the regular camera, a really good look. But anyways, let's go ahead and take the wheel off, keep talking. So besides the ISC coilovers, I was looking at getting the Cygnus, however you want to pronounce it, coilovers to replace these, just due to the fact that I am in dire need of new coilovers. But to continue on what my setup is, I have the ISC coilovers, ISC lower control arms, and then I have white line 22 front millimeter sway bar, non-adjustable, and then a white line 20 millimeter rear non-adjustable sway bar. And then I have the Cartboy end links front and rear with the spacers. Many of you guys will know or may not know, Cartboy does not provide spacers for the front. So a lot of the times people do install their end links wrong, and then they post up on the forums saying, I hear this clunking sound, I just installed sway bars and end links, can anyone help me? It's most likely they installed the end links wrong. And then also, if your car is not under load, when you put the car back down, pretend this is the end link, or no, pretend this is sway bar, here's the end link. A lot of the times people are installing it like this, where the wheel's sitting, so it may look like this. the end link, but when they put down and put under load, the end link's gonna bow inwards, and that's at a wrong angle. So you want to make sure when you install your end links and your sway bars that you want to have it under load. I can show you guys with my regular camera, which I'll do now. You can kind of see the end link right there. But yeah, so this is the setup right here. Completely filthy. Don't know if you can see. Sway bar, end linked. Haven't done anything with my tie rods or anything. It's all basically stock, and then nothing really great for suspension, like coilover. Pretty basic, entry level, but world of difference in handling. So now let's go ahead and just cover bushings, and I completely forgot most of my bushings because, to be truthful, a lot of my stuff blends together. You forget every single part. But I have everything written down, so we'll go ahead. So I have group end motor mounts, not really suspension, but I threw it under bushings. Group end trans mount, the parent steering lockdown kit. Honestly, I did that with the 15 STI racks, so I couldn't exactly tell a huge difference when doing that. I have rear diff bushings, and then I also have a subframe bushing. Now I did notice when I put those in, or when Adam put those in, a huge difference in stiffness in the rear. When I first got them up, I was driving to Thunder Hill and they weren't quite broken in, so every time I hit a bump, I go ee, ee, ee. You could definitely hear it in the back, but I wish I had a lift to show you guys. But yeah, definitely the rear diff and the subframe bushings, definitely felt a difference with those. Steering lockdown kit, not too much, but yeah, so let's go ahead and now talk about wheels. So probably one of the most asked questions ever is, what are my wheel and tire setups? So this one here is the Work Emotion XD9, discontinued. First they came matte silver, and then I got them powder coated Kawasaki green. Had them powder coated Kawasaki green for a very long time, and now they are as close to a white as I could get to the satin white pearl. And then wrapped, or I guess I should give you the specs. They're 18 by 9 plus 38 offset, so these do clear Brembos. And then the tire is a 265/35/18 Michelin Pilot Super Sport. Nothing but great reviews on this tire, and I love them. I had the Hankook RS3s for a long time. I daily those, went through those really quick, mainly due to them being a 200 treadwear tire. And I also had the Hankook Ventus V12s. Those are okay tires, not the best, but for a budget tire I would definitely recommend those. But if you can, these ones are very good in the rain and very good in the dry. But make sure I get all the meat I can on those tires. And then for my track tire, this here is the Ambit FF2 DOS wheel. I forget the exact name that this is called. Ambit wheel, 18 by 9.5 plus 35 offset. Once again, cleared Brembos. Wrapped within a 275/35/18 Nitto NT01 tire. Love these tires. Best track tire I've used so far. They are wide. It's a 275. So I do rub in the rear still, even though I am pulled and rolled. Try to line these up. Can't really tell. I mean, yeah, you can tell a difference. But yeah, these are the track tires. And that's mainly it for wheel and tire setup. So last but not least, we'll go ahead and talk about the brakes. So the brakes. These are Girodisc 2-piece rotors that I bought off Adam. You don't need them. Well, I guess first and foremost I should rewind. This is a WRX, but I swapped on STI Brembos. I have a video if you guys want to see how to do it yourself. But like I said, Girodisc 2-piece rotors, Brembos. Right now I have the StopTech Street Sport pads. I mean, if you're going to be daily driving this car, those pads are pretty fine, but after I do a couple pulls and hard braking, they definitely wear out. My track pads are the G-Lock R12s. Love those things. I ran the Carbotech XP8s, and as good as those were with the initial bite, they definitely got heat soak heat soak, brake fade. It's pretty fast at Thunderhill, at least, with high braking zones, fast speeds. So I would preferably, me personally, I would recommend the G-Lock R12s. And then on the rear, for the rear, I have DBA slotted 3000. I forget. I mean, there's so many numbers. Unless I cite these things so often, I forget. The DBA slotted rotors, perfectly good bang for your buck upgrade. There's that whole debate, drilled versus slotted. Preferably, I like slotted. Drilled, you lose surface area. It can cause rotors to crack more under heat. I mean, it's just personal preference, but most people prefer slotted rotors. So that's what I have in the rear. Same thing, StopTech street sport pads, and then that mainly covers it for brakes. I have upgraded stainless steel lines on my brakes from StopTech, and then I run .4 fluid. And I mean, yeah, basically by the book brake setup. Definitely did a lot of research and trial and error. People love the StopTech stainless steel lines, and I haven't found any issues with them at all. But once again, it's all personal preference to what you want to do. But that's it basically for my suspension setup. Like I said, out of everything on this car, my suspension is probably lacking the most. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask below, and I'll do my very best at answering them. This is kind of what you could get for a budget suspension build on a Subaru. Ask down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.